What if the final moments of Wednesday season to part 2 weren't just an ending, but the beginning of something much darker? The last episode doesn't just close Wednesday's story. It opens doors we didn't even know were there, pulling us deeper into the mysteries of Nevermore and the shadowy world around it. Let's break down exactly what went down and why it matters more than you think. The second half of season 2 picks up with Wednesday caught between her own growing powers and the dangers closing in on Nevermore Academy. The pressure on her is heavier than ever because she isn't just solving mysteries anymore. She's become the center of them. Enid tries her best to keep Wednesday grounded, reminding her that even the strongest person needs a friend by their side, but Wednesday's stubbornness pushes her into dangerous choices. Still, that tension between them makes their friendship feel real, and it shows just how much Enid cares about pulling Wednesday back from the edge. Meanwhile, Xavier struggles with his own doubts. His connection to Wednesday is still complicated, and while he wants to help her, there's always that question of whether she trusts him completely. His visions and artistic instincts keep giving us glimpses of the danger coming, but the frustrating part is that Wednesday often ignores his warnings until it's almost too late. And yet, his presence is key in shaping how the finale unfolds, even if he doesn't always realize it. Morticia and Gomez also return to remind us that Wednesday's journey is never just about school dramas or supernatural monsters. It's also about family legacies. Their past mistakes, their secrets, and even their unspoken fears bleed into Wednesday's story, adding another layer of weight to the choices she makes. The show carefully ties Wednesday's present struggles to the Addams family's long and mysterious history, making it clear that she can't run from the shadow of her family even if she tries. As part 2 builds, the real threat takes shape. The monster that seemed like just another obstacle becomes something more dangerous, tied to the hidden corners of Nevermore's history. The writers use this to pull Wednesday deeper into the school's mysteries, reminding us that Nevermore itself is more than just a backdrop. It's practically a character with secrets of its own. Every hallway, every locked door, and every strange symbol seems to whisper that the past has been waiting for this moment to come back. The tension rises with every episode, and by the time we reach the finale, everything is ready to explode. Wednesday is not just fighting for answers, she's fighting to protect the people around her, whether she admits it or not. The build-up makes it clear. The ending of season 2 part 2 won't just wrap things up neatly. It's designed to challenge Wednesday in ways she has never been challenged before, forcing her to face truths that could change everything she thought she knew. The final episode of season 2 part 2 wastes no time pulling us into the storm. Everything that the show has been building finally collides, and the tension that's been simmering bursts wide open. At first, it almost feels like Wednesday is in control, like she finally understands the strange visions, the cryptic clues, and the enemies' patterns. But just when she starts piecing things together, the show flips the table on us. The finale thrives on making us feel the same shock and disorientation Wednesday does, and that's exactly what makes it so gripping. The last confrontation begins with Wednesday standing at the center of Nevermore, almost as if the school itself has been waiting for this moment. Shadows stretch across the academy grounds, and the air feels heavier, reminding us that this is not just another fight. This is a battle tied to the roots of the Addams family and the legacy that has been haunting her from the beginning. Wednesday's visions intensify, showing fragments of events that haven't yet happened. This blurring of time between past, present, and future makes it hard to know whether she is guiding fate or if fate is guiding her. That confusion is exactly what the writers wanted, because it puts us in Wednesday's shoes, lost, but determined. The villain's true identity finally comes into the light in these closing moments. The show reveals that the enemy was not just an outsider, but someone who had been close all along, hiding in plain sight, shaping events from the shadows. This reveal feels like a punch in the gut, not because it's impossible to guess, but because the clues were there the whole time. The finale rewards viewers who paid attention, but it also leaves enough surprise for those who didn't catch. every detail. That balance keeps the ending shocking without feeling cheaped out when the final confrontation begins. Wednesday's stubborn independence is tested. She has always been the kind of person who thinks she doesn't need help, who believes she's stronger alone. But in the finale, she learns the hard way that standing alone can sometimes mean losing everything. Enid, Xavier, and the others all play a role in this battle, each of them stepping into the fire with their own strengths and weaknesses. It's not just Wednesday's fight, it's everyone's fight. This teamwork doesn't make her less of a lone wolf. Instead, it forces her to accept that strength doesn't only come from isolation. Sometimes it comes from connection. Visually, the finale leans heavily into Gothic imagery. The cracked stone walls of Nevermore, the eerie glow of the moon, and the chilling silence that breaks only with the sound of battle. These details matter because they're not just background, they're storytelling devices. The school itself seems alive, as if Nevermore is both protecting its students and demanding something from them. The fight that takes place here feels less like a random battle and more like a ritual, something the place itself has seen before and will see again. The emotional weight of the finale doesn't come only from the fight, but from what the characters lose in the process. Not everyone makes it through unchanged. Relationships are tested to the breaking point, and Wednesday herself walks away with scars that are not just physical. The writers make it clear that the finale is not about winning or losing in a simple sense. It's about transformation. Wednesday ends the season not as the same girl we met in season 1, but as someone carrying heavier burdens, darker truths, and a sharper awareness of what's coming next. The closing scene leaves us with one of the most chilling cliffhangers yet. Just when Wednesday seems to think the danger has passed, she receives a message that proves the nightmare is far from over. This moment is quick, but it sticks in your mind because it changes everything. Instead of tying up loose ends, the finale deliberately unravels new threads, hinting that season 3 will dive even deeper into the mysteries that season 2 only scratched at. It's the kind of ending that keeps viewers awake at night, replaying every scene in their heads, trying to figure out what they missed. What makes this ending so powerful is that it refuses to give us a clean resolution. The villain is defeated, but not destroyed. The mysteries are solved, but not fully explained. The relationships are mended, but not healed. Everything feels unfinished, and that's exactly the point. Wednesday's story is not about happy endings, it's about ongoing battles between light and shadow, truth and secrets, isolation and connection. The finale understands that, and it leaves us with a haunting sense that the real story is only just beginning. One of the most exciting things about the finale of Wednesday Season 2 Part 2 is how much it hides in plain sight. The more you think about it, the more you realize that the writers were leaving breadcrumbs throughout the episodes, small details that only make sense once you reach the end. These little touches not only make the rewatch valuable, but also spark fan theories about what might come next. Let's go through some of the hidden layers that stand out the most. First, let's talk about Wednesday's visions. At first, they seem like a tool for solving mysteries, giving her clues about what's to come. But in the finale, the visions take on a new role. They stop being just warnings and start feeling like tests. There's a detail that's easy to miss. In her final vision, she doesn't only see the villain. She sees herself standing in darkness, holding something that looks like a key. This isn't explained directly, but it suggests that her powers are evolving into something greater than anyone expected. Fans have already started theorizing that this key could open the door to an even deeper part of Nevermore's past, or even to a hidden realm tied to the Addams family's legacy. Another small but important detail is the role of Enid throughout Season 2. She's been a balancing force for Wednesday, and in the finale, she proves that she isn't just a sidekick. There's a moment when she notices a symbol carved into the stone walls during the final fight. The camera lingers on it for just a second, but long enough to make us realize it's not random. That symbol matches one we saw back in Season 1, hidden in the Nightshade Library. Why bring it back now? Many fans believe it's a sign that the nightshades will rise again in Season 3, but with a much darker purpose. Enid seeing it first could mean she have a bigger role in uncovering these mysteries going forward, perhaps even stepping into leadership. The finale also leaves subtle clues about Morticia's past. During her conversation with Wednesday before the final showdown, Morticia warns her daughter not to let the darkness consume her. It feels like a standard motherly warning at first, but sharp-eyed viewers noticed something strange. Morticia's voice trembles when she says it, and she avoids eye contact. This could be a hint that Morticia herself once faced the same temptation, maybe even made mistakes that still haunt her. If that's true, it opens the door for Season 3 to reveal a hidden part of Morticia's history, one that might connect directly to the villain's plan and the legacy Wednesday is trying to escape. Then there's the cliffhanger. That cryptic message Wednesday receives in the final scene is chilling, but what's even more important is how it's delivered. The handwriting on the note looks suspiciously similar to the style used in old Nevermore records shown earlier in the season. Could this mean the message isn't from a living person at all, but from someone long gone? Some fans think it ties back to the founders of Nevermore, who may still be influencing the Academy in ways no one understands. Others believe it's a direct setup for a bigger enemy, one that's been watching Wednesday all along, waiting for her to unlock her full potential before making a move. The biggest theory, though, revolves around the idea that Wednesday herself could become the danger in future seasons. Her visions, her growing isolation, and her struggle to accept help all point to a possible twist where she isn't just the hero anymore. Some fans believe the show is slowly building toward Wednesday becoming a figure feared by both humans and outcasts, someone who blurs the line between savior and villain. The finale strengthens this theory by showing us how close she comes to losing control during the fight, her eyes almost glowing with the same darkness she's fighting against. All these hidden details and theories show just how carefully crafted the ending really is. On the surface, it's a dramatic battle with shocking reveals. But underneath, it's a layered story filled with clues, symbols, and unanswered questions. The show doesn't just give us an ending, it gives us puzzles to solve, conversations to debate, and mysteries to look forward to in the next season. That's what makes Wednesday stand out. It respects its audience enough to hide meaning in the shadows, trusting that we'll look closely enough to find it. The ending of Wednesday Season 2 Part 2 isn't just shocking for the sake of surprise. It's a carefully layered conclusion that leaves audiences with a lot to think about. But to really understand how effective it is, we need to step back and look at it not only as fans of the story, but as viewers of the show itself. When you analyze the finale, you see both strengths and weaknesses, moments that hit hard and moments that could have been stronger. This balance is what makes the review so interesting, because even though the finale is bold, it also carries flaws that are worth pointing out. Let's start with the strengths. One of the biggest achievements of the finale is the way it balances character growth with mystery. Wednesday, who has always been sharp, cold, and independent, is finally forced to face the limits of her independence. For the first time, she learns that needing others is not a weakness. This kind of character development feels earned because the show doesn't make it easy for her. She resists help until the very last moment, and when she finally accepts it's only because there's no other way forward. That makes her growth believable instead of forced. It's also satisfying to see Enid, Xavier, and even secondary characters step up in ways that make the climax feel like a shared story, rather than just Wednesday carrying everything on her shoulders. Another strength is the tone. The gothic atmosphere is something Wednesday thrives on, and the finale leans heavily into it. From the visuals of cracked stone halls to the eerie moonlit skies, every frame of the episode feels haunting and alive. It's not just about looking good, the visuals add emotional weight. The setting feels like it's breathing with the characters, like Nevermore Academy itself is responding to the chaos. That kind of stylistic choice makes the finale feel memorable, because it ties story and environment together in a way that sticks with viewers. The performances also deserve recognition. Jenna Ortega's Wednesday once again delivers a layered performance, showing both the stone-cold face of Wednesday Addams and the small cracks where vulnerability shines through. Emma Myers as Enid brings warmth and humanity into the story, making her more than just comic relief. Percy Hines-White as Xavier finally gets more depth, showing frustration, loyalty, and hints of something bigger. Even Morticia and Gomez's short appearances add richness to the story, reminding us that the Addams family dynamic is still very much alive. These performances make the finale more than just plot. They make it emotionally engaging. Now let's look at the weaknesses, because no finale is perfect. One common criticism is the pacing. The build-up across part 2 is slow, and then the finale suddenly packs everything into one explosive hour. Some viewers might feel that the reveal of the villain and the final battle happened too quickly, leaving less time for the tension to breathe. If the season had spread these moments out more evenly, the payoff might have felt even stronger. The finale works, but it does rush through key revelations that could have had more impact if given time. Another weak point is the handling of certain characters. While Wednesday, Enid, and Xavier get solid arcs, others feel underused. Characters like Bianca or Ajax barely have a presence in the finale, even though they were important earlier in the season. This creates a slight imbalance, where some storylines feel forgotten in the rush to wrap up the central conflict. For a show that prides itself on building a large and interesting cast, this is a noticeable flaw. Still, even with these weaknesses, the finale succeeds because of how it leaves us feeling. It doesn't tie things up neatly, and that's a deliberate choice. The villain isn't fully gone, mysteries remain unsolved, and the cliffhanger throws the door wide open for Season 3. Some viewers might find that frustrating, but it's exactly what makes Wednesday so compelling. It's not about closure. It's about keeping you on edge, wanting more. The finale understands the importance of leaving questions hanging, because that's what keeps fans talking long after the credits roll. When comparing Season 2 to Season 1, it's clear that the show has grown bolder. Season 1 was all about setting the stage, introducing Nevermore, and showing us who Wednesday is. Season 2 digs deeper, playing with darker themes, bigger stakes, and more emotional weight. It feels like the writers are more confident, taking risks that might not please everyone but definitely keep the story from feeling repetitive. If Season 1 was about mystery, Season 2 is about consequences, and that shift makes the show reach a dot in the end. The finale of Wednesday Season 2 Part 2 is both haunting and thought-provoking. It gives us action, mystery, emotional depth, and just enough unresolved threads to keep us hooked. It's not perfect. The pacing could have been smoother, and some characters deserved more time, but the core of the story is strong. The ending works because it stays true to the spirit of Wednesday Addams, sharp, unsettling, and unwilling to give you easy answers. As a review, the verdict is clear. The finale delivers a powerful, if imperfect, conclusion. It satisfies enough to feel rewarding, but withholds enough to leave us craving more. It's the kind of ending that proves Wednesday isn't just another teen drama with supernatural twists. It's a story that knows how to keep its audience guessing, and more importantly, keeps them coming back for the next chapter.